Hello and welcome to video 8 of 10 in my Python 3 crash course. Today we're going to learn about strings. Wait, strings? Why are we learning about strings? Aren't strings just a regular data type? Well, there's actually a lot more to strings than you think. So let's go over them one by one. Okay, so before we go over the various properties of strings, let's review what a string actually is. So a string is a sequence of letters that form to make a text. So I will print a string to show you. It can be enclosed in double quotations or single quotations, and it can be used interchangeably or whichever one you prefer. And then you just put in your text into the quotations, and once you run your code, it will show up in the terminal. You can even store your string in a variable and then print that variable. And it will still work. And finally, you can also store strings in a list. I'm not going to make a full list here because we want to get through this video. So we already know we can do those things. But here's something else you can do. If you have a string that's really long, or you don't want it to be all in one line, then you can do a multi-line string. So how do you create one? Let me create one in this variable that I already have. So instead of using one quotation, we have to use 3 quotations, and in between them we can write whatever text we want, and we can press enter as many times as we want, and it will still keep going. Remember, you can't do this with a single quote, like with one quote, but you can do it with 3. And you can also use double quotations for this as well. I will show you once I print my string. As you can see, it shows up in multiple lines, even though it's all in one variable and one print statement. And I'll show you, if I use 3 double quotations, remember they have to be the same front and back, then it'll still work and it will be printed once again. Okay, so here's something you definitely have not known before. So just like lists, characters in a string can be indexed. If you don't remember what that means each character can be called by its own assigned number. So if we remember from lists, you could call it in each individual item in a list using its assigned index. I'll create a list quickly just for review. And I'll just create a list with the numbers 1, 2, 7. And then if I want to call the number 1 from here, then I could just say my list, and then when we want to call something, we use the brackets, and then we write down the index of whatever item we're looking for. So remember, the first item in a list always has index 0, and then the second item has index 1, and so on. So whatever position it is in the list, subtract it by 1, and that's your index. So it is the same exact thing with strings. If I were to replace the string and let's say hello world, if I wanted to get just the exclamation mark, then I could get it by saying my string and using the very same brackets that we use for lists and have a -1 index. If you remember from the list video, you can use negative indices. If you don't remember this, I recommend going back to that video. And now once I print, as you can see, it gives me the exclamation mark. Now, let me show you another cool thing you can do with indexes in a list. So, I did not show you this in the lists video, but I will show you it now with strings. And the same thing can be applied with items in a list as well.
Arguments have four
So
different
keep
types.
that in mind while we're learning.
They
this.
are positional
So,
arguments, keyword
I'll
arguments, default
my
arguments,
string
and
and have
arbitrary
it say
arguments. We're only going to learn about the first three
programming
because arbitrary
is
arguments
fun.
are a bit complicated, but I'll leave a link in the
Then,
description below if
what
you
if
want
I
to learn
just
more
wanted
about that.
to extract the word
So let me
program?
start by showing you
Well,
what
there are a
positional
bunch of
arguments
indexes for each character, and I can't call it using one index. So how do I do multiple in one line? Well, that's where slicing comes in. Slicing is just what it sounds like. You're literally just slicing the string to take out whatever part of the string you need. The same thing can be applied to lists. You can just slice whatever items you want and extract them to use them. So let's say I just wanted to print the word programming from my string. So I'm gonna do my string, the starting index and the ending index. And now, once I print, it will give me the word programming. But how did I just do that? And what does this colon in the middle mean? Well, the colon is to separate the first index and the second index. So, the first index is where you're starting to slice. So that's where you're starting to extract from. And then it'll extract every character from the beginning index to the end index, which is 12. So it will take everything from programming. And because G is the 12th index, it will take that. So it basically takes everything from 0 to 12, including 0 and 12. It won't exclude them, it will include them. And you can do the same thing with lists, but it will just extract the items. And if I don't have to use the index 0 here, I could take it out and just have colon 12. And this will result in the exact same thing. Why? Because you're just doing everything from the beginning up to the index 12. And you can do the same thing the other way around. If you wanted to say, if you just wanted to take out the word fun along with the exclamation mark, then you could just do a negative index. So that would be -4, and then just a colon, and since we're going all the way to the end, we don't need to add ending index. And as you can see, it will just give me the word fun. And that's how you slice a string, and since I didn't cover it the last video, that's also how you can slice a list. Okay, so this might be getting a bit old, but just like lists, strings also have many properties associated with them. So I will teach you a couple. However, there are a lot more that you can learn. So I will leave a link in the description below where you can read more about list properties, because there are several. And if I covered them all in this video, it would get boring pretty quick. So you could look through that in your free time and see if you can find a useful method that you can use for strings. Now I will teach you the basic ones. So let me start by creating a variable called name and have it store a string that says code like a pro. And now what if I wanted to make that all uppercase? Well then, if I just print name with the upper method, it will make the whole thing uppercase. And I can do the opposite. If I had something, well actually I can still use this string because it has capital letters in it. So if I changed it to lower instead, it would just change those capital letters to lowercase and it would make it all lowercase. And then you also have the replace method. So if you wanted to replace specific part in a string, then you could do that. So let me change this to code like a noob, and then I'll replace noob with pro. So let me print name dot replace. So for the first part, I write down the string I want to replace, the part of the string I want to replace. So I want to replace noob, and then I will the second part is the part I want to replace it, like what I want to replace it with. So I'll replace it with pro, with quotations of course. And once I print it, it will be back to normal code like a pro. If you put something in here that is not in the existing string, then you'll get an error. So make sure it is correct before you try. And now we also have the split method. So what this will do is it splits parts of a string into a list. So let me make a sentence that says, hello, I like to code. And if I use the split method on name, so I will print name.split, and I won't put anything in here for now, just to show you what it does by default. If I run the code, it gives me a list and it separates out each word. Now, let me replace these spaces with commas instead. If I try splitting it this time, it will just give me one big string, and it won't split it at all. It will just keep it the same, but put it in a list. So why did it work when we had spaces? Well, by default, it only splits a string if you have spaces. So how do we split it if it's separated by something else? So that's where we can put our separating string in here. Since everything is separated by a comma, I can put a string that contains a comma in here. And then once I run my code, it will finally split everything and get rid of all the commas. And that will work with any character. I can even do it with multiple characters. If I had a space and a comma, then I just have to update it here, and it will do the very same thing. It will still split it just like normal. And finally, this is probably the most important part, called f-strings. So f-strings, if a variable is very far away and you don't want to access it, or that variable is constantly changing, then you could use an f-string. So if I had name over here equal code like a pro inside of a string, then I could create another variable called greeting, and I could have that greeting have an F and then a string, and that will say hi and then curly braces name. So if I run it, I have to print greeting to show you. If I run it, it will say hi code like a pro. This happens because once you put in the curly braces, it will take whatever is inside, and if you have that variable name, then it will replace that part with the value of the variable. And the F just indicates that you're trying to replace something. If you take it out, it will just be a completely regular string. So that's why the F is important when you're trying to replace things. Okay, so the last thing I want to go over is the escape character. So the escape character is a backslash, which looks like this. On a standard keyboard, it's usually below the delete key. So what the backslash character does is it escapes from a string. So I'll show you what this means. So as you can see, I've added an escape character and then an N right after. Notice how they are a different color. I'll go ahead and run my code. As you can see, instead of printing hello, how are you on one line, it uses two different lines. And notice how it breaks off where the escape character is. So and when it escaping means that it temporarily escapes from the string to give a different meaning to the next letter. So as you can see, there's an N right next to the escape character. So instead of making the N a part of a string, the escape character takes the N out of the string and instead gives it a new meaning. And that new meaning is a new line. So whenever you want to add a new line in your code, you use /n, and it will do that. There are also many other escape characters like this. There's a list, you can search it up, and there are a lot more escape characters. But escaping is not only for special commands like new lines. Escaping is also for if you want to add characters that you wouldn't be able to add without an escape character. For example, let's say you wanted to add quotations inside of your string. So I'll give you an example. As you can see, when I tried to print he said hello, using quotation marks would be proper here in English, right? But I cannot do that. It won't let me because I'm using quotation marks to surround the string. So if I add more quotation marks, Python gets confused. So how do I let Python know that those quotation marks are supposed to be part of the string as well? Well, that's where I can use an escape character. So I can add an escape character in front of each of the quotation marks. As you can see, Python clears it up. Now it understands that these quotations are part of the string. So as I run my code, as you can see, it includes the quotation marks without any problem at all. Alright, that's all for today's video. I don't really have any specific homework for you, so you can get creative and practice this on your own. And please don't put this off. I really do recommend that you practice this because it's very easy to forget stuff you don't do. The best way to remember things is to do them. So, I'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe.